conference will now be recorded.
All right. I'd like to start tonight's Board of Health meeting for the town of Belchertown, March 23rd, 2026. It is now a little after, it's 6:01. We will start with our regular business. First point of business would be to appoint John Prenosil as the Assistant Animal Inspector until May 1st, 2026, as was not recorded at the November 24th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move that we make that appointment.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, our second business appointment would be to appoint Sharon Oy, Animal Inspector, and John Prenosil, Assistant Animal Inspector, for the time period of May 1st, 2026 to April 30th, 2027.
I so move.
Second that.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye. Can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
Just because your Sharon's here, just curious, how's it going?
Good. Thursday, this coming Thursday is the last barn inspection for 2025. And I completed 206 out of 300 and something.
Wow.
Excellent.
So we have over 300 active barns.
So barns, no. Homes that have livestock, yes. So it's called a barn inspection, but it's anybody who owns livestock. And after the big chicken boom of the egg crisis, it's taken quite a lot of time.
Yeah, yep.
Should I imagine the majority, it's people who have chickens?
Yeah, it's
Is
the
it?
majority of chickens and horses, so.
Wow.
Great, excellent. Glad to hear it. Thank you for doing the work.
All right, our third regular business item is the review and approval of the proposed fiscal year 2027 budget.
You want to speak or should
Yeah.
I?
Well, I put it
I could do it.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks like
together.
it's
I
almost
appreciate
no
that.
We
change.
needed to remain level funded,
Level,
so a lot of the line items stayed the same. I did do a 2.5% increase for the elected officials, which is the board members. So that went up from 2,896 to, well, we did 3,000. And then everything else was pretty much the same. We do have a mental health line item, which that, I don't know if you remember, was going to, what was it, like this
River Valley Counseling,
Yeah,
yeah, way back
so-
when, yeah.
It's no longer going there
Yeah, okay.
anymore, but we still have that line item. So if we were going to go, like say if our office supplies, we were gonna order something and it was going to exceed that, we can still use that money from the mental health line item. You know, overall, we're not going to go into a deficit for the budget overall. So we just kept that kind of as a standing line item for that. And that was really it. So it's level funded from last year.
Okay.
I move that we approve the budget as presented.
Do I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Boy, if only the legislature could do a budget that quick.
Yeah,
All right, our fourth regular business item is to review and approve the meeting minutes from December 22nd, 2025.
Mr. Chair, these minutes are really detailed. I mean, I guess you're taking them, you know, I'm used to minutes that are half a page.
Well, the reason for this was because I thought it was important with the variance that this.
Oh,
John
right,
was
right.
requesting.
Right.
And Roger really detailed it out, so we can always refer back to these two.
Right.
when we're doing something.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it.
No, I mean, it's good, particularly, you know, anything we do theoretically can be challenged.
Right, I think, I agree with you, that was a good practice to do it detailed, yeah.
But we could accomplish variances.
Even when it's recorded via the go-to, is it only on there for 30 days.
Oh, I thought it was
Stay
longer.
Recorded on there forever. That
Does the town migrate the go-to meeting videos to their YouTube channel? So that should
So they'll
stay
stay-
on
they'll
there
stay on, yeah.
forever.
Yeah, they go up to YouTube. I don't know how long they're on.
Andrea,
Good
that's something that's
question.
worth exploring.
Yeah, maybe check into that. The other thing I wonder too is, with some other online platforms, especially now with more AI technology, can you get a transcript off from the recording from GoToMeeting or no? You can, but it's not always accurate. I know other kinds of AI transcripts are not great.
I also, I also took another program to see if, for when we did, Tables on the Green,
Yeah,
and it
it's
doesn't.
not good. Yeah,
Um,
okay.
and then again, it doesn't have the names.
Right.
Of who's talking.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. I had the opposite experience with another platform. They got the names right, but they got what people said incorrect.
Yeah.
here we
So
go.
I hear your point that the AI is not a good substitute for
Yeah.
human work sometimes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I finished? I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Can we get a second?
I'll second that. Yeah, I didn't see anything for changes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, our fifth and final regular business item is to sign a warrant acknowledgement, which was signed by Kent.
It was a major task.
Major. Big-
I don't think we need to approve that,
Nope.
do we?
Just have to have
Too
it
late,
noted.
too
Yeah,
late.
just to have it noted.
And then we all have to sign or no?
I get,
Well-
why is the phone bill different for us versus? The different departments in this building have different phone bills. It seems rather odd.
They're still charging us for fax, and we don't have access to fax in our office anymore.
All right, we should not pay a bill anymore. Last time I signed it. Okay, it's not a lot, it just seemed rather odd. Maybe that explains it.
I mean, we have our discussion items we can take care of now, or we can jump right into the public hearing. We're still 5 minutes early,
Oh, then we can't, the hearing should be done on time.
We'll be right at 6.
so
In case somebody shows up.
we can go right into a discussion item. If Ken wanted to talk about is
Oh,
the
okay.
non-binding resolution regarding the internet sales of nicotine products.
Okay.
Why don't we get that
So-
done?
I'll read the motion and make it, and then I'll explain it. So this is non-binding. Whereas both the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Belchertown Board of Health are authorized to limit sales of nicotine products, and whereas the town of Belchertown licenses many vendors of nicotine products who face unfair competition from online sales, and whereas online sales of nicotine products often bypass local age and product type restrictions, and whereas 15 other states have laws prohibiting most direct-to-consumer online sales of nicotine products, therefore the Board of Health encourages the Massachusetts legislature to adopt legislation to prohibit online sales of nicotine products. And I added a footnote listing the states that have restrictions on nicotine online sales: Arizona, Connecticut, and you'll see it's a very wide variety from red to blue. Arizona, Connecticut, Hawaii, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, and Washington, but not Massachusetts. So I make that motion. And the history of it, other than the whereases, is I was at a meeting in Shelburne in which, talking about nicotine-free generation. And one of the questions that came up is, well, can't they bypass nicotine, the vendors? And will that increase if they pass nicotine-free generation? And Shelburne, as you might expect, is trying to do it jointly with Buckland because they share Shelburne Falls. They only have 3 vendors between the 2 towns, but in any case, it came up and it seemed like a reasonable thing to respond, and maybe we can get some other towns to adopt this and move the legislation. It's because of the fact that, in fact, online sales is bad for the vendors as well as our kids. It seems like a good thing for the legislature to act on.
Kids.
And I think in the same way that at the local level, we're enacting regulations to public health regulations around nicotine-free generation and whatnot. That's, to me, all in that category of trying to manage the retail access. So in terms of who's buying and when and where and how they can or cannot buy. At the same time, you've got this whole other marketplace of potential online sales, which is another retail access that you want to, try to limit, because the retail access often then leads young people to share what they've bought with their peers. So you have retail access leading to sharing and some social access to it. So, and I do think it would be most helpful if it's done on a statewide level.
Yeah, I mean, we probably could pass it here legally, but that would mean Andrea would have to
I know,
start chasing
yeah.
after mail trucks.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
It does not seem enforceable
No,
on
not
a
at the
local
local
level,
level.
even
Yeah,
if,
no.
you
Definitely.
pass it
No.
to be ignored. But all of these states have experience with doing this, and
On a statewide level, yeah, makes sense to me.
we need a second.
Yep, you second that? All in favor of it?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you all.
All right,
We are now.
we are at 6:15. We will, at this point, end our,
It's 6:10. You're a little.
oh, I'm looking at that clock over
Oh,
there.
I know that one is.
Okay.
Oh, it's still
I
6:10?
noticed that when I came in.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's 2 minutes late. Yeah, it's fast.
Okay.
Okay, so
Good
we
to
5
know.
minutes should start. We could,
Well, we could,
you want to do tables on the green?
I don't believe,
Aren't we
She's
not
here.
doing it?
but we could do our other discussion item for
Oh,
Krispy's.
Krispies, yeah.
You want to get into that now, or?
I mean, is anybody here from Krispy's or represent Krispy's? No.
No?
Anybody
And-
online? No?
I
We
could-
do have paperwork.
I can introduce Julia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
Julia Walsh is our new administrative assistant for the Quabbin Health District.
Hi, hello,
Hi,
welcome.
Julia.
You're still on mute.
Unmute, yeah.
Sorry. I had to mute myself because my daughter was right next to me. So I don't think you guys want to hear a 14-month-old scream. So
Oh, I probably should say something. Andrea basically makes the appointment. And this applies to the Quabbin Health District. 3 of us, one from each of the 2 towns, met and interviewed, I don't know, half a dozen people for this position, and Julia certainly, all of them, interestingly, all of them are qualified, which you don't always get when you do interviews.
Mhm.
And what, we have like 30 applicants?
Yeah, wow.
30 applicants.
No kidding, that's great.
So there was about 6, I think, that we interviewed.
You-
It was very competitive.
Great.
I feel honored that I was offered the position. So
She's doing great. She
Excellent.
started last week on Monday. so,
Great.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I thought this would be a good Board
Nice,
of Health
yeah.
meeting for her to
Yeah.
see. Last week, she had her first Ware Board of Health meeting, so it'd be good to see,
Excellent,
what's going on in each of the towns and how town government's run.
great. Welcome, look forward to
Very good.
your work and thank you.
thank you. Look forward to it.
Yeah, she'll be mostly working in Ware and in Pelham.
Mhm. Great,
We have married.
that's right.
Now is the time?
Gotta be getting close. 3 minutes. Oh, Dave, I have that other signature warrant down this
Yeah, I
way.
was gonna look at
Yeah,
Nathan.
you sign the bill.
Oh,
Yes.
Send that.
Take my pen.
My signature's all you
Sorry,
need.
I'm late.
In fact, your signature.
Because it says 2 times, it's 6 and 6.
Your appointment is at 6:30, the meeting begins at 6.
Oh, okay.
So you're good.
You're good.
No problem.
Jim, how do you?
Can you remind me, Andrea, Lauren Blakely, is that
She's right now contracted to
Contracted.
just do the Maven
Maven.
work, the communicable disease
What I thought.
investigation through Maven,
okay,
for the
great,
district.
great. Still hoping to get more applicants around the public health nurse at some point.
Well, we do
Have
have an
that?
interview tomorrow
Oh, great,
as a
excellent,
candidate.
okay.
This person applied earlier, but kind of had to withdraw the application because of a family thing, but things have resolved and, she wanted to come in for an interview, so we are interviewing somebody tomorrow.
Oh,
So
good.
hopefully that will pan out.
Sounds great,
And
thanks.
a reminder, get your shots, COVID and flu, and anything else your doctor suggests.
Mhm.
And ignore what's coming out of DC.
All right, guess close enough, right? So at this point, we'll end.
I'm not gonna make this.
We will make this decision, instead of just hanging around looking at each other. It's only a minute.
Okay,
So at this point, we'll have to end this part of our Board of Health meeting before we start the appeal hearings, the public hearing. Do we get a motion
Do
to?
you need a
so I
motion
guess
to
we
that?
move to open the hearing for the Village Package Store, is that?
But we have to end our regular
Oh, do
meeting
we?
first.
Yeah, you have to close this meeting and then open that, so you can do both.
But to be reopened after the second
And
hearing.
then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so I move that we close the regular business part of the meeting and open the public hearing for the Village Package Store and we'll return to regular meeting once the 2 hearings are done.
can we get that seconded, please?
I think
Second,
you need a roll call.
Roll.
you might need a roll
Yeah.
call on that, yeah, I think you're right, probably right now.
So, David,
Yes,
Yes.
yourself, aye. Colleen, all right. That'll be the end of our meeting and the start of our public hearing for the cease and desist appeal hearings. Andrea, would you like to start with Village Package Store?
So just a very quick background, the board voted to update their tobacco sales control regulations, which incorporated the nicotine-free generation policy as well as the oral nicotine pouches with the restriction to adult-only establishments effective January 1st, 2005. After that date, all the tobacco retailers received a copy of the updated regulations with a letter explaining the nicotine-free generation and the oral nicotine pouches, which were the only 2 that were, revised from the original regulations. And Chris Haughey was with me at the time. She's not here. She must be away because normally she would be here for this. We did go around once our signs were made, and we went to all the tobacco retailers, and everybody received a new nicotine-free generation sign to kind of replace the 21, plus signage. So all of these should be at the point of purchase at the register, and there's small ones to put, at the register as well. So everybody received those, and on November 20th, Chris Haughey and I went around to all of the retailers and just did an education check surrounding nicotine-free generation to make sure, the store clerk who was there when we did our, education checks understood nicotine-free generation. So we kind of asked some open-ended questions surrounding, if a sale is made to somebody regarding tobacco, what are you looking for to make sure that they can purchase? And all but one, failed. I mean, only one failed the education check, but we went back the next day, and that establishment's not here for the hearing. So it wasn't any of the ones that are here that failed. The folks that are here passed the education check that we did on November 20th. So then we followed up on December 15th, shortly afterwards, to do a compliance check, to put that into motion. And Chris Haughey was there, and there was a volunteer, a young lady who had turned 21 on January. She was born on, she fit that nicotine-free generation. I don't know exactly what her birth date was, but it fell on or after January 1st, 2004. So she was 21. She went in with ID, so no fake ID, went in with ID and attempted to purchase. And the first for the tobacco hearing we have today, Village package store did sell, so a sale was made. And that was December 15th, 2025 at around 3:50 p.m. We went to the Village package store, and the Marlboro Smooth Originals, this was the pack that was purchased. And ID was checked. We have description, of the clerk. So the order letter that we send out is the same that we send out when there's a sale to somebody under 21 that Pioneer Valley Tobacco Control does. So we use the same order letter format. And in your regulations surrounding nicotine-free generation, your fining for the violation is the same if you were to sell to somebody, under 21. It's for the first offense, $1,000 fine with a 3-day suspension. So that is what your hearing is for today. Is Village package store received an order for a fine of $1,000 with a 3-day suspension for violating nicotine-free generation during a compliance check. They did sell. So that's my testimony. Next would be to open it up to Village.
Yeah, a representative from Village Package want to step up and speak? Right at the little table here.
I'm Samantha, Haughey, manager of the Village package store. My mom, Debra, Kopacz, is the owner. So we're here because this is regarding the violation that happened in December. An employee of mine sold to a 21 young adult woman. We understand that this is the violation of the Belchertown's new policy of a smoke-free generation. We've been in business for just about 40 years in Belchertown, and we have always been in great reputation with the town and the state. When I took over after my father passed away, it was something that was very important to me to make sure that I held this up to his standards to continue on to run his business. And unfortunately, it did happen. I understand what we're doing. I have young children myself, and I want them to be as healthy as possible, right? It's just, Belchertown has already done such a great job putting out that smoking isn't good for us. So we don't get very much practice at not remembering, but like having this new law that we're trying to abide by. Like, we know we did wrong, and I'm very upset that we did it, and I have continued to work with my team to make sure that they are very aware of the importance of all of this. I also have done tips training with all of my employees, and I continue to redo that with them. I now know that I'm going to have to make sure that I'm more on top of this new smoke-free generation. And I just hope that you guys can show us some leniency with how we have been in this town for almost 40 years and I always had a really, really great reputation for this town.
So, I appreciate what you're saying, but 8 of our 10 retailers passed the inspection. And you and one other, at least we're claiming, did not. And you had gotten a visit, what was it, in October, Andrea?
November.
In which you were warned that they were going to be coming in and doing this.
So
what is going to make it different in
So
the
that was
future?
with one employee and that wasn't with me, myself. So,
But
yeah.
you're responsible for your, you could have,
Absolutely.
the
And that's what
employee
I'm
could have
saying
sold
is
to a
that
9-year-old.
I continue to, now I know that I need to do more and that I would like to get more literature, more maybe, like they have tips training for alcohol sales. Like, is there things that are available for my employees to be certified like that for cigarettes now? Because this is just gonna get harder as people turn 30 years old and we have to figure out a way to make sure that that's being, even in 50 years, like they're gonna be 50 and then, you know, right now, like with tips training, they tell you if somebody looks 35 and younger, you're IDing them. So obviously there's more training that needs to be done on my end and hopefully I can get more training and literature from you so I can give it to my employees.
There's one other
We did
thing.
update our POS system so
So we do have
that it's helping the employee to flag that.
so it's hooked up with the state. So when you scan an ID, it goes through a register and it takes all their information down.
Thank you.
But the state hasn't caught up with it because this is just a town law that I have to physically go in every month and change the date in it so that it flags.
Actually, you don't. The date is fixed at January 1st,
January
2004,
So,
the birthday. And by the way, there are now 22 municipalities with 620,000 people in the state that have the same regulation. This is not just Belchertown.
I'm just talking about my IT stuff, like,
Right.
we spent $1,500 to have this put in our store, like, to have the IT guys update it and all that kind of stuff. It's
Right.
I got
my
it.
stuff.
Can you use it for alcohol too?
That's what it is for.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's a
alcohol's the
different,
same thing, right, 21.
yes, but now it's 22 for cigarettes this year, so I have to go in and change
Make that
because for 21, it changes every year, right? And the date.
No, the date, for nicotine.
So I'm sorry, the 20.
The age
so the
changes.
age-
Age changes
Yeah.
every day.
So for cigarettes though, it changes literally every day.
Right.
Because you
Right.
have, like a 22-year-old can come into my store right now and buy cigarettes until their birthday comes up.
No, they would never
So
be
the way
allowed
that
to
it, so
be sold.
if you were born, so if you were born in 2003.
Then you'll
You're-
never lose the opportunity to
Right,
go
but
into
you
your
still
store
have to
and buy
think,
these
because if you're like,
drugs.
oh, this is a 22-year-old.
Right.
But you're telling me a 22-year-old can't buy cigarettes this year?
No, I'm not.
Well-
We're not. The law says it's based on the birthday, and somebody who was born in 2003 will always be allowed.
So for the system, for my
Yeah, you're-
scanning the ID.
right,
yeah.
right.
I have to go in and change it
Right,
for that month,
right.
It's a different,
Based
It's
on
a diff-
age, based on age, you mean?
based
Yeah.
on the year, because of the 22, so next year it's gonna turn into 23.
you're explaining that for alcohol,
Yeah.
it's after
and
21,
it's
but
based
now
on
it has to
alcohol.
change to a birth date system.
Not,
Yes.
right,
Right, there's no question that,
right.
Different system.
right, it's a new concept, it's not everywhere, we understand that, as Ken said, more and more communities are adopting it. Our hope is that at some point on a statewide level, like we talked about earlier, that there would be some statewide buy-in to all of that. So I hear what you're saying, that for you and your team and staff, and sometimes I even have to stop and think and wrap my head around this. And, you know, I'm on the board that you know, enacted this. So I understand all of that, and I appreciate the fact that you're thinking about how to train anybody new that you hire, and systems have to accommodate it. At the same time, I guess I want to, as we were talking earlier about the nicotine product sale online, I just want to reinforce that, you know, this board adopted nicotine-free generation because it has the potential to have enormous public health benefit. And we understand that businesses are subject to public health regulatory action, and that often costs them money. But our job is as the public health, the voice of public health. And I appreciate you saying that you obviously don't want kids, teens, none of us want, you know, anybody to have to cope with lifelong addiction if they can avoid it. So I just want to reinforce that this is really serious stuff to us, and Belchertown, you know, was one of the first communities to do this. We realize it adds a burden, but at the same time, I feel like between the staff and your questions and training, that it was very clear that violations do result in a significant fine. So I just want to acknowledge that as well, that has always been part of the education to the retailer, that, you know, that there are consequences for violations. So.
And actually, our hope is that, may I speak for many?
Yes, go ahead.
Our hope is that it will be easy, actually, because the date will always be the same. You don't have to change it every day like you used to. You had to worry about if somebody was 21 that day. Maybe the birthday has to happen yet. Now it's the same date forever.
Yeah, actually, one of the vendors came in here, I don't know, 6 months ago, and said it was actually easier to use the nicotine-free generation birth date than it is to have the clerks calculate how old the person is.
Change it, yeah.
Because it's written right there on the sign.
So all they have to do is look up at the date on the sign, and the date on the license, and that same, you know, no sale.
Just look at the year.
So I don't know what additional training we would be able to provide. We provided the signage that the Board of Health has paid for, and we certainly can provide more of these. But Colleen is right, it's all they have to do. And that's where if you have somebody buying alcohol and tobacco, they might be of age to buy the alcohol. But they also have to, which they would scan and have to look at the birth date for the alcohol. But when it comes to the tobacco products, the nicotine, they may or may not be able to add that to their purchase if they were born on or after.
Right.
Yeah. First 2004.
I'm not fighting that we didn't do it. Like, I understand that we did. I'm just up here trying to appeal that I have been here my family's been here for almost 40 years, and we are always trying to help our town, help everybody that we work with. And so I'm not trying to argue the law.
I want, if I may, earlier in the year, I don't remember what month it was, we, I guess Andrea, did an inspection of all of our tobacco vendors, and every one of them failed on a paperwork. They didn't have the records that showed that they were proper sales.
I did have the records, but I was not there for that.
But we wound up accepting and waiving the penalty. So now you're asking us to waive for all of them. It was obviously a lesser offense, but you're asking now for us to waive a second violation that you've had in the same year. And I wonder why we would have regulations if we're not going to enforce them. I guess that's a rhetorical question, but okay.
All right, are you all set with your testimony?
If anybody else
Uh,
wants to.
Andrea, do you have anything to add to anything here? No? So we'll have to can I get a motion to close this part of the public hearing
Oh,
for,
oh, right.
Village Packy?
I
And
move,
then we can
all right, I
just,
move that we close the public hearing.
get a second? David, thank you.
Roll call.
Roll call, David?
Yeah,
Yes,
Gail? Myself,
Aye.
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 All right,
All right. Our next, the next thing to do now would be for us to have our discussion on it, now that that part of it is over. Any discussion amongst us? Anybody have any questions that you want to talk about?
questions or comments?
This is not for us, as far as the Board of Health it's not so much of what we decide, it's whether or not a violation occurred, which definitely had 100%. So we want to discuss further on how we want to handle this.
I guess I have a question for Andrea. It's a really narrow technical question. The regulation, I think it's D, I don't remember it exactly. Oh, no, it would probably be later in the, does it say they shall be a fine or there can be a fine? I've seen
Shall be, in the case of the first violation,
shall be.
fine of 1,000 shall be.
So we don't have, so we would be disobeying our own regulations if we didn't enforce it.
if we didn't enforce
Is that,
that.
that sounds that way. It doesn't say may. I think some of the towns,
That, yes,
We-
that was
we
when you're
had-
developing your tobacco control
We had
regulations.
those changed.
This shall or may.
We had those changed.
We decided shall.
I don't want to take exception to that, but I guess I do. If you look on the second side, Board of Health may now entertain discussion among members of the board. The public is not permitted to comment. The inspector may comment as to so after discussion, a member of the board may move to affirm or dismiss the penalty
oh,
or move to take the matter under advisement for a vote at a later time.
oh,
So we do have,
we have
We do- we
authority.
have-
Mhm.
and I would
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
accept the
my
authority.
suggestion, opinion, is that since it's a complicated law, and knowing that the Village Packy Store has been a business in very good standing, and, very good member of the community for this long, and with the installation manager gave, I would say, I would dismiss the penalty with a stern warning that did not happen again. That is my suggestion.
I guess I would like to just respectfully maybe put a different viewpoint out there. My
Okay.
concern with that is, as our chair just said, we're beholden to, did the violation happen?
Right.
And they acknowledge that, and I appreciate that. You understand what the circumstances were.
Yeah.
The other concern I have whenever, because this is a relatively newer regulation, that if we do that for this is the first time we're dealing with violations, right, under the new nicotine-free generation, that it poses the difficulty of then how do you treat other violators in the future?
First-time violation.
First-time violators who
Because there
might
are
be
8
different
others that
vendors,
haven't.
right? There are 8 other vendors. So that is one concern. And like I said previously, I feel like this is a groundbreaking strategy. It's going to take all of us time to make sure we all understand it, and there's going to be possibilities of violation. So my personal opinion, respectfully different, is that in this case, the fine should be levied.
I just want to point out that the retailers are learning, and this wasn't like a 10-year-old, it was a 21-year-old. So it's someone who in past times, until this new law just took effect, would have been legally.
Sure, I understand that. Everybody's adjusting. The community as a whole, the vendors, everybody's having to adjust. But I still feel like that violation happened, and the consequence of the fine is what
And it
needs
is
to happen.
mandated by state law.
It's mandated by state
Except-
law.
you know. with
We
the-
are
with the-
allowed to affirm or dismiss.
Well, right.
It says right here, yeah.
But it is,
Or
the sales did take place, so they're, you
the
know,
sale did take place,
You
yeah,
know,
but
that's
I'm
not
just reading
question.
what
Right.
the thing says, yeah.
Yeah, this is just our guidance for the meeting.
That's what, I'm following the guidance, yeah.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have that be the first warning for village package? It had to be a community first warning. That's first warning, we send that warning
Right,
that we pardoned
well,
this,
this was their second, technically.
or not for the,
Not for this
Not for
violation.
this
but the second
violation,
time
but they-
in the
This is the
6-month
first
period or whatever.
They've been-
Yeah, no, so say we've had one violation and then send another
Yeah.
notice out
I-
to every establishment said that violations occurred. It was, you know, in a way, an honest mistake, although there was education around it. This shouldn't happen again.
I think, if I may,
Mm.
the very fact that Andrea and Chris Haughey bent over backwards to visit each of these 10 places in person and made sure they understood what the rule was. And in one case, not involving this particular store, they didn't understand it, so they went back the next day and explained it again. If they're going to acknowledge that they understand it and they're enforcing it, and then 2 months later don't, then what's the point of having regulations? There's no point of having regulations, there's no point of having penalties. And it's not like we're going into these stores, you know, twice a month or something. To check for the under 21s, we do it, once or twice a year at most, I think. It just seems to me, what's the point of having a regulation if you're not gonna enforce it? Anyway, that's my.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at just
Yeah.
as sometimes the cop will, you know, the guy won't stop at a stop sign and the cop will give a warning. You know?
They see the tickets.
Well, it's the same thing. You're on for a stop sign. right?
Oh, fair enough.
The cop will say, hey,
I
don't do
would,
it again.
I would also
Does
wonder,
that ever
okay,
happen to you?
so they've been good citizens for
Yeah,
decades.
yeah.
Would you then say, oh, well, maybe we should put in the regulation, if you've been a good citizen for 20 years, but only have been a good citizen for 5 years, then you get the penalty?
No.
I mean, how are you gonna
Yeah.
make that
Can't say
decision?
And you
I know.
can't, and you can't
And,
use that.
right,
as-
and that's not part of the,
Yeah,
that's
you
not part
can't,
of
you
our
can't even use
criteria.
that part of it.
Our
Right.
criteria is more,
Right.
you know, violation happened or not to be, you know, too rigid about it. I understand it's something we're all, you know, adjusting to as a new strategy. And I appreciate longstanding family-owned businesses. I appreciate all of that. But again, the business consequence is not the purview of the Board of Health. The public health aspect of this is our primary charge. That's why we enact regulations.
Now, a question, do we have, I think we've done this in the past, have we've modified fines if the board says, no, we can't forgive this, whatever. In the past, I believe we've modified.
I don't know if this board has. I know when I was on the
I
board
don't think
previously,
so.
we never did.
don't
But
think
I
so.
don't know if this configuration of a board has modified a fine.
Andrew?
Oh, go right ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't modified, like reduced a fine, but like,
We-
Ken's, you know, recall back of the manufacturing letters for the tobacco products and
Right.
Yeah,
nicotine
that was
products that they're, you know,
recall, yeah.
certifying that they're not flavored. Because I think all but one of the retailers failed that during a compliance check for, that was, I think, the Pioneer Valley
Right.
Tobacco
That was what
Control.
was, right, yeah.
The board wanted everybody that did fail it to come before the board to appeal, so they go through that process. But they did waive the fine
Right.
for that because the majority had failed, so obviously that shows there is more education that, you know, even though that state law had been in effect for years, it was something that came out during the pandemic, during a period of chaos. Compliance checks during the pandemic were few and far in between. So there was understanding behind why that sort of regulation kind of fell through the cracks when it came to compliance. So that was, I think, the only time that something like that was waived. And I could actually kind of see like so your regulations, you voted to go into effect for the nicotine-free generation January 1st,
Right.
2025.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah,
was
15 months ago.
Right.
Right, so that's when you had it go into effect, knowing that compliance needs to be met that date.
Right.
We did our compliance checks towards the end of that period. If we had done these compliance checks
Right
in the
away,
beginning, like
It
the
would have been
first
different.
couple of
Would have been a
months,
lot more.
I could understand,
Right.
you know, cutting people some slack to give them time to train their staff and, you know, do what they needed to do to make sure everybody understood nicotine-free generation. But we had gone out, you know, at least twice in the beginning and then again in November for education, making sure everybody had the signage, making sure everybody understood. And then we did our compliance checks and only two ended up failing that check. So if the board decided that they wanted to waive this first time offense, you have to keep in mind that maybe the next time we do these checks, everybody's in compliance, and maybe 3 years later, we have somebody else that's not in compliance, but that's their first offense.
They may accept
You'd
it.
have to waive that
We
first
have
offense.
to waive
to
it too, to be fair. Right.
So,
Waive it then too.
yeah, whether, you know, obviously not everybody failed this time around, but you may have some that failed the nicotine-free generation compliance check 3 years from now. And waiving a fee for one because it's their first offense, you'd be setting a precedent, and out of fairness.
So what I'm suggesting, wouldn't it be fair if we had to be a group one-time offense? This one time, that's all they get, all the stores get this one time.
Get a warning.
So this warning is true for everyone.
I don't know that 1 year, Andrea, is the same as 3 more years or 4 years, because when a law's been around for 1 year, that's a year, like tax law changes and stuff. But when it's been going on for 3 years from now, you say, or 4 years, that's different than 1 year. I mean.
Right,
Well,
but personnel can
Says that they're
change,
going to
right,
go into effect
right.
3 years from now.
Right.
Yeah,
for
no,
example.
obviously
You
it
have it
went
going
into effect, but I still think it's the first year. And
I strenuously object, because what you're saying is, instead of first violation, a fine and a suspension, the first violation should be free and nothing.
Right.
And we didn't pass
We
that.
didn't
And I
pass
think
that.
in order
We
to
didn't
do
pass-
that,
we didn't pass
you'd need to
that,
go
right.
through a whole public hearing, changing our tobacco regulations. And I think that is something we should not be doing. I think this is very serious. We are right now have been saving lives for the past 15 months because of this policy. And the fact that a couple of them, I was surprised that only 2 of the 10 vendors failed the test. But I think it was because Andrea and Chris, at least in part, had shown up there 2 months before and warned them that they were going to be tested.
I don't think you have to remind me that saving lives. I spent my life doing that.
I know
And I
that.
was-
Oh, no, I wasn't speaking to you. I
One of the
was
people that researched it
Speaking to
and
the
helped pass the law. But yeah, point well taken, Ken.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have any more discussion on anything here about this? No? Well, our next thing now would be to decide, do we want to affirm or dismiss the penalty? Or do we want to table it and talk about it another time?
Well, people can vote as they want, but I'll make a motion that we affirm the first violation fine of $1,000 and a 3-day suspension for Village Package Store for the violation that was seen on December 15th, 2025.
I'll get a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Yeah, you need a roll call.
I think you need a roll call.
Dave?
Nay.
Yay, yes.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm gonna say nay, but only if, I say nay because I wanna do it to the group as this is their first time wanting to This is the enrollment one. This makes excuse violation is now everybody's, the law is late. So that's, I'm voting.
All right, so it's a 3-2 vote to affirm the penalty.
Do you need any, what else do you need?
I should have interjected. So with the 3-day suspension, when do you want that to be effective?
I don't know, what's the policy when we give suspension?
Well, you have to get written notice, you have to get a written notice to them. So the
Yes.
day they get the written notice, it should start.
Okay. I'll put it in there then.
What's the,
So they have, once they get the order saying that this is the fine and the 3-day suspension,
Right.
they have 7 days to request a hearing, which they did. They have typically 21 days from the receipt of the order to pay the $1,000 fine. But if they're gonna request a hearing, I don't require them to pay that until after the hearing because the board may vote to dismiss it.
Right.
So, it's not gonna be 21 days starting after the vote. So the fine should be within a reasonable time period. So, I mean, I would give within 7 days to pay. And then, I mean, I can
week
work
from
out
today,
the 3-day suspension.
Week from
and
today.
Okay,
So next Monday.
to start the 3-day suspension and then to pay the fine by next
Right.
week, Monday. Okay.
Okay. End of that one. Now we need a motion to start our second hearing.
so moved.
I'll second that.
All right. So Andrew, would you like to start off with the old grog shop?
So it would be the same, same spiel I did before. You know, we did the compliance checks on the same day, December 15th, 2025, and education on November 20th, 2025. On around 3:55 p.m., we went to the Yield Grog shop and a sale was made. Same type of tobacco product was sold. So it's the same, except the date, I mean, the time had changed. And the store code, obviously.
All right, would you like to come up and give us your testimony, please?
And Andrea, you had visited them in October as well,
November.
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 Accept full responsibility. The clerk on duty at that time, she was educated on nicotine-free tobacco sales. So did check the ID, but she forgot about the nicotine-free because it's a new law. As I said, I accept the responsibility. We are not here to make illegal sales for anything.
Right.
I promise we'll take utmost care and be vigilant not to happen again. I'm sorry, but I'm so tired.
I know, right?
And we are nose.
Flying around the world,
Yes,
right, I
yes.
know.
We're glad you came.
Yeah.
We're glad you're safe.
Yes.
Yes,
Glad you're safe and home.
three cancellations and rescheduling,
Oh, my goodness.
and finally I got back Thursday.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you. But fine or no fine, we have learned our lesson. It was a violation. And like I said, we promise won't happen again.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Andrew, you have anything else to talk about? All right, can we get a motion to end
to end the public hearing.
Second,
All in favor?
Nope.
Oh, roll call rather, roll call, sorry. Dave?
Dave?
I'm in favor.
yes,
Me too.
to end here.
Aye. All right, now we can open up to our discussion.
Gil, you want to make the same motion?
Anything?
Sure, I guess I wish I had said something while the village package folks were still here too. I really appreciate that it sounds like neither of you are taking this out on your staff, on your employee, that you're working with your employees and promising to educate them. So I appreciate that as well. Anyway, just to say that I appreciate that. So I will make a motion that I move that the board affirm the first violation fine of $1,000 and a 3-day suspension for Ye Olde Grog Shop based on the violation of the nicotine-free generation regulation that happened on December 15th, 2025.
Second?
Second.
So
Roll
I'm
call
sorry,
vote.
what was your motion to?
To affirm the fine and the
Okay.
3-day suspension. So keep that in place and then just gave the date of the violation under nicotine-free generation based on that compliance check.
Dave, roll call vote?
Either for or against?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess to be consistent, I'd have to say nay.
I'll vote yes.
I'll vote yes. Ken?
Yes.
Colleen? All right, 3-2 vote again to affirm. And we'll do the same 7-day,
7-day, the 2-day.
A week from today.
suspension Starting next week, Monday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, hopefully. put everything up. And yes, and then by next week, Monday, the 7th finding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
you.
Stay safe.
Stay safe and rest up.
can we get a motion to end the public hearing part with this?
We did.
Well, we voted on it. We didn't end the hearing. Right?
Or actually,
Oh, no, we
we
did.
opened
Yeah,
our
we did.
regular
Sorry,
meeting.
you're
We
right.
did vote to
So
end
now
the
we
public
have
hearing.
to,
You just touched it.
now reopen our original business.
Right.
And our first action item would be Tara Weagle from Tables on the Green.
So what's the status of that?
She submitted an application, but the application was not complete. It's missing documentation, certification for ServSafe and allergen. We did not receive that. And the last time she was before the board wanted a food safety type plan to be submitted with the application, and no such plan was submitted. So at this point, we don't have enough to move forward with permitting.
I'm gonna move that we postpone consideration until the next meeting.
I'll second.
We don't necessarily need to reject it. I mean, postponing
No,
it
just
means
take
the
no
same as
action.
rejecting
Yeah,
it.
we can
right.
take no action on it. It sounds like it's not a complete application.
And
Right.
that'll give time for Tables on the Green to contact us or
Right.
let us know the direction they're going
But how long are we gonna give them to?
until next meeting.
Until next week?
Next
Or
meeting?
Okay.
As a firm deadline, 'cause they had to say,
Just submit what is needed.
What is
in order to
needed.
Operate for 2026.
yeah.
When was their operation had started? If they had it?
Well, they're seasonal, so I think last, in
Yeah.
2025, they opened in like March, April, around that time. So I would say definitely by the next
By the
board
next
meeting,
board meeting in
we
April.
need to get something in writing from them, whether it's an email or a letter saying whether or not they're gonna move forward with looking to open.
Right. And just so that I'm clear, are they looking both for the on-site restaurant, doing that and catering out of
Yeah.
the Belchertown location?
Mhm.
Okay, just,
So did we agree to that by consensus or voted or whatever? I mean,
Yep. So we'll,
Next meeting.
so we'll next meeting, table it for the next meeting.
Table till the next meeting.
Andrea, could you ask her also if she comes into the next meeting to submit with the application, the inspection report that she said was so perfect from the town of Palmer?
It's public record, I could probably just get it.
Okay, I would like to read that, we should have done that.
But that shouldn't bear.
I know, that
Says
doesn't really
that's
bear.
nothing to do with
It
permit.
would be helpful to read, if you could get it from us. Because it is relevant, particularly if she's making the food in one place and just serving it in another.
Right,
The
but
fact that it's been accepted at the first place has some relevance.
well, I guess it sounds like this application that she is considering both the on-site restaurant
well,
as well as
okay.
catering out
Right.
of the Belchertown location. So if that's what she does in submitting a more complete application, then we'll have to deal with both of those.
All right, and so that will take care of that action item. We have one discussion item left. It's about Krispy's, the annual food permit. They do not have a certificate in good standing. Andrea, you can give us a little more info on that?
So they did submit an application, however, it is an incomplete application. There's some missing information. Mary has been in touch with them, but there's really been no response. Once again, they're not in good standing.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of a regular thing with them.
Yeah, in the food code, the Board of Health can vote to not renew a permit if they're not in good standing with like taxes.
Right.
It is a reason that the board can take. I usually don't recommend doing that if it's their first time, but I think this is this third year in a row that
Yeah.
We've had this issue. So, I mean, right now they're still open and they're operating without a 2026 food permit. They have been notified of this meeting.
And no response.
And no response.
Nobody showed
Mary
up.
has not received a
And
response.
I think we actually formally adopted the policy of requiring that I think we did that. There was some discussion of that.
In the minutes, it says that
It was at the request of the town.
mentioned implementing a requirement for
Oh,
right,
certificate of good standing regarding tax payments as part of the permit process, including renewal, but there was no.
No vote on
no
it.
vote on it.
Yeah.
And they're right now functioning without a permit? Well, that alone is serious, more serious than not paying taxes.
Yes.
So,
And that's beyond just the ice cream and frozen dessert. They're serving
That
all
they're-
food and the frozen dessert
'Cause
stuff.
we were having problems
they
with
have
their,
a full permit,
Right.
frozen dessert manufacturing.
right.
So what happens next? Are you gonna close them down?
So if the board,
I mean,
if we could do that, but again, they should come before
They
the
should come
board.
before the
right,
board.
I mean,
And were they asked to come before the board?
Yes, they were asked to come before the
give them
board.
one more chance,
Tonight.
otherwise we'll shut them down.
No, I think we should just shut them down. They've been keeping, I mean, we had merchants come here who violated the law for the first time law.
They
One of
showed
them
up.
left crying because we denied them. These people are just in your face saying, we don't give a damn.
It's not having the permit that bothers them
Right.
here.
Yeah,
not
they're
the
operating
taxes.
without a permit. They should close.
Can you just do that?
We have,
You have to give
we
them notice.
can, so we would
Whatever
send them
you
an
wanna do.
official letter
Letter.
saying that if
I've been
They
here for several
do
months and I
not
remember this was an
go
issue
in
3 months
good
ago.
standing,
Right.
if they don't
Correct
do what
this.
they have
Correct
to
it
do to
too.
be in good standing with the town by, we could say the next board meeting.
And they close.
Then they will have to close.
Yeah.
This is like
I don't
showing
like
up
them I don't like anybody operating without.
I don't think we should.
and not showing up. It's like giving us.
I know.
A little thing.
I'm concerned about between now and the next meeting, what's the safety level of the food that they're selling to the public?
Well, they would still
Yeah.
get inspected, so
Okay.
that's.
Right, they're not
You
just
know,
gonna be
we're-
left on their own.
Right.
Right, that's
Right.
true.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you for that reminder, you're right.
Okay,
It's more of the formality,
Right,
with the
right.
paperwork and
Right.
paying, they pay the fine. Yeah, so there's a check number, so
and of course they gotta pay
they
the
did,
taxes.
We were holding that check
right,
Oh.
because we didn't know what the board was on.
so they did submit an application,
That's the check for the fee
yes.
for the
for
application.
the
But we can't
application,
do anything with
so-
that until they get caught up on the
Right.
taxes. so.
taxes too, right?
I don't know, I don't even think it should wait till next month, I think they should be given a certain amount of time to pay taxes. They go from there, I think they need to sit in that.
Yeah, I guess, I suppose we probably would authorize you to give, maybe just speaking for myself, give them the permit if they fulfill all the other requirements. But I really don't like people operating without a permit.
It's not
Speaking for
uncommon for
myself.
somebody to be very late, applying for,
Yeah.
the next year's permit. This is a little bit different where it has
It's
to
more
do with
routine.
town, being delinquent in taxes.
Right.
They don't even-
A significant amount,
Right.
and this happens every year, so. I'll send out a letter, but I do want to give a date that they need to be in compliance by. Or, they basically, I want to give them a date to be in good standing with the town and to,
Submit a complete
April
application.
17th. April 17th,
April
it's a
7th.
Friday.
Okay. And if they don't comply with what they need to by April 17th, then they will have to close their business.
Yeah.
If they are aggrieved by that, they can request a
A
hearing
hearing.
before the board, but we've
Yeah.
requested them to come before this
Right,
board and
right.
have failed to show up.
Right,
So, I have to look back into the food code for the exact language on
Mm-hmm.
how I'll word the letter, but, I can send you all the draft
okay.
once it's ready to be sent out.
Okay, thank
Do you all agree with the
Yeah.
17th
Yeah,
date?
I think
Yeah,
that's
like
sooner,
that way.
yeah, I like
Like that.
doing it
Next stage for
sooner,
review.
yeah.
Good, we agree.
Okay. Is that the agenda?
And that takes care of everything on the agenda?
Do we need to vote on that, Jim? We said we all agree, but.
Okay, make a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a
Yeah.
motion first.
I make a motion that we say they need all their ducks in a row and all the paper signed and taxes paid by the time of our next meeting, April 7th, for the businesses to close its doors.
April 17th, right?
17th.
17th.
Second?
Ken, second that?
Yeah, I seconded it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm in favor of that, you need a roll call.
What the ducks in a row part?
I know.
Had three yet.
And that's not our
Adjourn.
meeting, that's in advance
I
of
get a
our
second?
meeting, right? Okay,
Don't close the meeting yet.
Yeah.
Because we want to discuss new meeting.
Oh, right, when
Yes, of
we're gonna
course.
be meeting?
So, tonight is, I'm missing a commitment I made normally. Of course, I wanted to come. I know it's been several meetings. So when I first joined the board, it was Wednesday. I understand that's not good for you, Gail.
Wednesdays are not good for me,
But-
no,
But
I
the
know
problem
I'm
is
the one.
Mondays are not good for me unless we met earlier. But I know that's not good for you, Jim, because you're still in the working world.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Some people
Meeting
actually
at
want-
5 or something,
And
a meeting at 5 is not good for you.
can I just ask you, every Monday is problematic, so it's not a particular Monday of the month,
Yeah, I
okay.
just like mention like Wednesdays for you, right?
Every Wednesday for me is kind of booked too, sorry.
So Tuesday's bad too.
Yeah,
Like
Tuesday's bad.
Thursdays?
Jim,
for
Mary,
me. Yes,
I got a whole list together, last year when we were going through this. And this, the selectman's office gave me, the rooms that were available. And that's why you ended up with the
Right.
fourth Monday of the month.
we were kind of forced, there was a forced hand.
It pretty
To
much.
meet in this room.
to meet in this
To me,
room,
but
but everything else.
Well, we could even meet in the little room if we had to.
Well, I
Not
can
bad,
check
but
on
ordinance.
those, but because there's so many boards and committees in this town, the calendar is pretty much full.
I know.
Would you be able
Well,
to get us
I'll
some
ask again.
openings?
Yeah. I
See
mean,
what's there and like,
Get something.
the other thing I could do is the thing doesn't start till 7. So what I was gonna do today is I can go to the place and try to zoom in. Or just miss the thing once a month, but I hate to do that. But zoom in, but I hate to do that, like just routinely. And then it's,
What about the little room though next to the office? That's available, isn't it? Except when the board
No,
is still using that too.
yes, it's all set up with, go to
Oh.
everything. There's many committees and boards that still use that room.
and how about
And tonight,
Thursdays?
the select board,
yeah.
it's their meeting, but they gave it to us because we had 2 hearings.
So I mean, I would just let you get some available days and times,
And let's,
send it out to us
and let
and
everybody
we
answer.
can put in our own.
Everybody answer.
While we're
Percent.
here, is Thursday not good for folks or you?
Well.
It's not a matter of us. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean, is Thursday not, doesn't, there's no
Yeah,
opening.
Tuesdays or Thursdays, no.
Thursdays are not good.
Yeah, Tuesdays or Thursdays.
And Wednesday's not good for you.
So, yeah, I mean, I would say just let's table it at
I'll ask them
that,
for
see what's
See what
available.
else is available.
And
Those were the
she
evidence.
started smoking.
Oh.
What the hell am I gonna do with these after? I mean, like, put them in the trash?
You're not allowed to smoke inside the building.
Hey, somebody don't.
Soak 'em.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Second that motion.
All in
to
favor?
adjourn.
Aye.
Thank you.
So we'll hear back from Mary about
7:09, Mary.
available space to meet, and
Yeah.
then we'll,
I'll get the calendar
All right.
and ask them to
all right.